$610,000. Does Sister Wives Kody Brown resent his Coyote Pass payout to Janelle and Meri? Did they pressure him into redividing the land before it was sold? Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Up Sister Wives star Kody Brown recently sold the Brown family's Coyote Pass land for a whopping $1.5 million, and before he did that, he decided to give his ex-wives Janelle and Meri Brown bigger shares of the Arizona land, which meant that each received $305,000. In other words, he basically gave away $610,000. When he made that sacrifice, Kody seemed like the perfect gentleman. The thing is, Kody might have felt intense pressure to relinquish his 97% ownership of the land. As a PR move, his conduct was superlative. He seemed to honor and respect the wives who left him, with whom he shares children. However, it's possible that he grudgingly gave them bigger portions. Kody used to insult the long-suffering women who watched him fall deeply in love with another woman. He derisively described them as entitled princesses. That rude remark is just the tip of the iceberg, and Janelle, Meri, and Christine Brown are good women. They waited decades before bailing out. They were really trying to make things work. In return, they were accused of parental alienation after their splits. So, how does a man who does that turn into a Disney prince, bestowing favors on hard-up Cinderella, Janelle, and the always overlooked Meri? Possibly, he didn't change at all. Kody seemed to resent the women who'd gone through so much of his life journey with him, and then left him only because he loved someone else. On the surface of things, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Kody pushed them away, and then seemed to complain about them. How is that logical? However, he has his own take on things, and his belief is that these women punished him for falling in love with Robin. There may be a grain of truth to this. They were jealous. They saw that it was different for Kody and Robin. They knew it would never be the same. Back in the old days, the plural marriage seemed less dysfunctional. It was often centered around the children, which made it seem sweet, homespun, and emotionally satisfying. The kids got love from an array of moms, and the family's patriarch loved them too. They did fun activities as a group and lived together. However, the days of sledding and pumpkin carving weren't fated to last. The bad blood bubbling up from underneath began to poison the dynamic, hurting Kody, the women, and the children. Human nature always rears its head. It can't be kept down. While women in polygamy are conditioned to accept a state of silent suffering when they feel very human emotions like jealousy and anger after decades, it was impossible for the women to really repress all of those feelings. As per Mormonism Research Ministry, sacred loneliness is about women enduring solitude while in plural marriage. Even now that Robin is in a monogamous relationship, she and Kody are fighting, as seen in the clip above. It's hard enough to make it work with one person, much less 4 people. Kody gets all the blame, but imagine how hard it would be. Whatever goes wrong is going to be considered his fault. That creates so much pressure. He's the family's leader, and falling in love with Robin wasn't his fault. The family has been through the ringer, including Kody. He gets the villain edit every single time. People don't really give him a fair hearing, but he has feelings too. Christine felt unloved, longing for passion her husband couldn't provide. Christine found it with David Woolley, who's now her husband. Janelle had the same desires, wanting a real husband, at least some of the time. Meri, cast out after an unfortunate catfishing scandal, was lowest on the totem pole, unable to get Kody's friendship, much less his ardor. It was a mess. A truly emotionally damaging situation that left 3 wives feeling like satellites orbiting around Kody and Robin, who were on their own planet. In their world, there was a core family, Robin, Kody, and their children. Everything else seemed to come second. During the pandemic, the pressures on the family reached critical mass. It was just impossible for the Browns to live as they had before, with Kody visiting his non-Robin wives. He was too afraid of contracting the COVID-19 virus. So, the chasm between the core family and the others grew. There was a chill in the atmosphere, a new coldness that signaled the end on the horizon. It's easy to be glib about reality stars, but after decades, the love, time and energy that Janelle, Meri and Christine poured into the family was significant, and that meant significant pain when things ended. They had swallowed their pride a million times, trying to make a man who was in love with someone else pay attention to them. That is degrading. However, all believed in plural marriage and had to re-examine their beliefs in order to free their minds. Above, Janelle focuses on what's working, rather than Kody, definitely moving in the right direction. As people get older, they change, and that's a factor here too. The fighting gets tiresome. Everyone wants peace and happiness. They say that in midlife, a new attitude about ego emerges, and a person is just different. They see the big picture and want to use the time they've left to get along with others and really enjoy their lives. There's less focus on things that used to be important, but no longer are. In a sense, the midlife crisis and its aftermath also destroyed the Brown family. In midlife crisis, the person lashes out, longing for youth that is gone. They may regress a bit. When that ends, there's a period when a person starts looking at their life with a pitiless lens, under very harsh light. They think about what they want for the future. Do they really need to hold on to the same values? Some people let go, and that can be beneficial. It can be a sign of maturity. All the Brown parents, Kody, Janelle, Robin, and Christine, are older now and wiser. They have lived and lost. They've fought so many battles. The war over Coyote Pass is now over. Garrison Brown has died. These life events have shaped everyone, changing them from the inside out. And so, people are going their own ways, or trying to. Each part of the fractured Brown family is on a journey. The journeys are no longer the same. Kody may not have sold Coyote Pass because he wanted to please his exes and make their lives easier. He may have done it because they threatened to take him to court. However, it wasn't really wrong of those women to believe that they deserved more than the pittance that they would have gotten had he retained his full 97% ownership. They paid into the family too. Kody may have awakened to this, to the inherent unfairness of him owning so much, while they owned so little, when he was the one controlling the money. All of this is quite sticky morally. Yes, he used his money to buy the lion's share, but then again, his wives couldn't freely spend the family money. As the man of the house, Kody made the decisions. This is where the issue of fairness comes in. Now, except for the fact that Christine didn't get a share, fairness is restored, but that doesn't mean that the Sister Wives star Kody is at peace with his relationships with his exes. In fact, there's probably more drama to come. Season 19 star Kody Brown had a tumultuous relationship with many of his children, but there are signs the family could be healing. It's sad to think about how far the Brown family has fallen over the years. When the beloved unscripted series premiered in 2010, they seemed like such a happy bunch. They presented an image of a functional polygamous family instead of what is often depicted on film and television. Back then, the Browns all lived under the same roof in a multiplex in Utah, and they seemed happy. By the time Sister Wives season 19 aired, everything had changed for Kody and his family. At his peak, Kody had 4 wives and 18 children. Starting in 2021, 3 of Kody's 4 wives have walked away from the marriage and the plural family. Not only did Kody find himself in a monogamous marriage with his 4th wife, Robin Brown, but many of his older children were barely speaking to him. Though Kody has stubbornly refused to make amends with his children over the last few years, he recently took a big step in starting the healing process. When audiences met the Brown family in 2010, they were living different lives. They lived in a large complex in Utah that was built by a polygamist, with polygamists in mind. The large home had multiple apartments where each wife could run her household with her children. Kody would travel from family to family, but he got to see all of his children every day. Everything changed after the Browns left Utah and moved into multiple homes. They'd never live under the same roof again. Reality TV is more popular than ever. With so many to choose from, here are some of the best reality TV shows to stream or watch right now. Once they lived in multiple homes, Kody stopped seeing all of his children every day. Over time, the homes got farther apart, so the family got together less often. At one point, The Browns took over multiple homes on a cul-de-sac, which seemed like the perfect setup, but the arrangement didn't last. The Browns moved around a lot, and every season of Sister Wives seemed to find them in multiple new homes. At different points, Sister Wives was filmed in Utah, Arizona, and even Las Vegas. The Sister Wives stars eventually bought a large plot of land in Arizona that they intended to develop. The idea that each wife would build a home, and, eventually, their children could someday build their own homes. It was a beautiful idea, but it never became a reality. The Browns fell apart long before they could ever build on the land at Kody Pass. After many years of sitting there undeveloped, the Browns' Arizona land recently sold at a large profit. In 2010, Kody married Robin and added her and her 3 children from her first marriage to the mix. The couple would go on to have 2 of their children. The new wing of the family changed the overall dynamic of the group. With so many more children needing Kody's attention, the Sister Wives Season 19 patriarch had less and less time for his older children. This led to an enormous amount of resentment. It all came to a head when the COVID-19 pandemic swept the globe in 2020. When several of his older children couldn't follow his viral mitigation rules, Kody refused to see them on Thanksgiving and Christmas. The Brown family was already in trouble when COVID-19 came along. The pandemic exposed existing rifts. Different households had varying opinions on risk tolerance, and Kody was the most risk-averse, so he would go for long periods without seeing his older children. The issue came between Kody and several of his sons, whom he accused of not being cautious enough. He even skipped Isabel Brown's scoliosis surgery because he was too afraid to travel. When the holidays came around, Kody and Robin refused to see family members unless they followed strict COVID rules, which included wiping down groceries, changing clothes when entering the house, and leaving mail outside for 24 hours. When several of his older children couldn't follow his viral mitigation rules, Kody refused to see them on Thanksgiving and Christmas. The pandemic led to the family splitting up during the holidays for the first time. It was the beginning of the end for the Browns. COVID triggered Kody's 3rd wife, Christine Brown, to walk away. She'd been unhappy, but once Kody and Robin refused to see his other wives, Christine realized she'd be better off leaving. They'd been married for 27 years and had 6 children together. Kody's 2nd wife, Janelle Brown, left him a year later after 29 years of marriage and 6 children. Kody's 1st wife, Meri Brown, was the last to walk away. She left in 2022 after 32 years of marriage and 1 child. During a recent episode of Sister Wives Season 19, Kody revealed that he recently got together with Christine's children in Utah. Other than Michael T. Brown, Kody hasn't stayed in touch with all his other children. Kody said 2 of his sons from another mother were there. This could mean Janelle's sons, Logan Brown, Hunter Brown, or Gabriel Brown. After losing contact with many of his children, it's great that Kody is finally starting to make amends. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube Fox Gossip 24 channel and stay with TS.